Sebastian Vettel has been connected to a return decrease lower again to the game, and it seems like the German reason pressure will discover the marketplace a bit greater carefully in the upcoming length, now that tectonic shakeups are anticipated. In the following couple of years, with 2025 now not presenting any seats, but 2026 installation to be new environment for almost all of the drivers, wherein have to Vettel find out his home, and extra importantly, can Cadillac be a thing in his pass? Once more in F1 there may be no question about it. The whole Formula One world wants to see Sebastian Vettel decrease again. And on the same time as he had some statements that didn't make the fanatics satisfied, now that narrative seems to have shifted. In a first-rate course, the very last couple of years in his profession were not genuinely what we favored to search for a full-time global champion. However, notwithstanding the reality that the fate had unique plans for us, now we are going via a state of affairs, wherein we might see Vettel decrease back due to the truth. The German riding pressure is reportedly bored with sitting on the sidelines and not taking element in Formula One, despite the fact that the particular short have become that Vettel goes to use his platform to make the arena a higher region to stay, which he does now as properly. The present-day document from F1 Insider reported that Vettel is interested by returning to the game once more after retirement. In 2022, to decrease lower returned. There was a report that Vettel did try and consistent a seat at some point of 2024 as properly, with Audi, however notwithstanding him being near with Andreas Seidel and Mattia Bonot who succeeded. Andreas. The notion of their souls wasn't that Vettel can be the chief of the German organization. This could have been the right assignment for the four-time global champion. Because of the fact, if you endure in thoughts, it is idol and compatriot Michael Schumacher did exactly the identical element with Mercedes, after retiring in 2006 and coming lower back 4 years afterwards. Vettel has amazing enjoy in driving all types of vehicles, and on the equal time as he might not be as used to the contemporary F1 machinery given the reality that he wasn't very a success within the first year of the ground effect generation. That wasn't as a bargain his fault as it modified into Aston Martin's, the institution changed into unable to build a competitive vehicle inside the first season. And when they made a big soar in 2023, the complete for Form 1 International become left, with questions as to whether or not, or no longer, this could have been finished with Vettel in the back of the wheel. This is something that we may not get a solution inside the years to come. But what we are able to speak approximately, and what we will debate, is the future of Vettel in Formula One, and the agencies that might unique hobby in his services on every occasion. A riding force is rumored to be returning out of retirement or coming from the sidelines. The primary group this is going to be stated is the newcomer Cadillac. They have seats to provide. No matter the fact that the first one is maximum possibly visit an American motive force, but the second one is probably to take delivery of to a purpose force with lots of revel in the sport. Sure, Vettel and Cadillac may likely sound a hint bit far-fetched. However, while you think about it, he's the using pressure who ought to deliver some of fee to the American team. This is searching for to push through the grid. As rapid as possible, the opposition may be fierce, and Cadillac will use Ferrari's engines and gearboxes in the first seasons as people in the sport, and Vettel is a using force who has wonderful data on this location as he changed into a part of Ferrari from 2014 to 2020 of route. The shift in the direction of electrification is some element that he may also need to get used to, but, as an alternative, he is not as vintage as a few human beings picture him to be in terms of making a comeback. The German driving force is first-rate 37 years antique, and is extra younger than both Alonso and Hamilton, who are despite the fact that, of course, going at it with complete speed. A massive trouble here is probably the recognition within the endorsements, even though, and at the same time as we don't have any doubts, that Cadillac will acquire a massive fan base within the occasion. That they have been to carry Vettel on board the cash that includes Perez is in no way comparable to those of the four-time world champion. It's a merciless worldwide that we live in, and to compare those drivers might be a stupid element too, due to the fact we do apprehend for a truth who can adapt faster to a new machinery, plus the age range isn't as big as you may assume, and it might not be too large of a trouble for the American organization if it does come right down to that. Mario Andretti, the previous Formula One champion and the director of Cadillac, stated that he desires the second motive pressure to be an experienced one, and they are searching into all in their alternatives alongside faceting the retired drivers as well. This makes a whole lot of experience to Vettel, due to the fact he can display that. He even though has it in himself. And apart from that, he may be using for a set that would produce their very personal engines from 2028 onwards. His input is probably pivotal to the squad's development in plenty of areas, but on the other hand, Cadillac might probably need Topic, a driver who has been in the sport more recently and hasn't taken the sort of lengthy hiatus like Bottas. But a big benefit that Vettel could probably have right here is the reality that VY does not want to sign a settlement in F1 most effective for the sake of it. So if Cadillac have been to supply unskilled reason pressure, and they could want to have a 1+1 settlement with the second 12 months being non-obligatory, it is possibly an offer that might be declined through way of the 10-time race winner, who became adamant that at this component of his career contracts would want to have a, which means that, and they'd need to be a long manner, a couple of year of route. Vettel is however to make his emotions smooth on this be counted. But if there are no different possibilities, and he sees that Cadillac have extraordinary capability to preserve the developing curve consistent, then it is very in all likelihood that a commonplace ground is probably found amongst the ones. Two occasions aside from the American team, there are high-quality options who can be stated for Vettel, and despite the fact that the denial from Audi come to be understood as a closed door for the German using force, it isn't precisely as it seems. They've got a very unstable lineup. A veteran in Hülkenberg, who despite the fact that being extremely right and a very professional riding pressure is however to reap a podium in his career, and rookie in Bortoleto, who's coming out of an F2 winning advertising and marketing advertising campaign. It is a totally interesting desire of drivers, and it is largely what you may want as a rookie at the grid. However, because of the reality, the veteran isn't exactly a excessive undertaking one, and the rookie is, but to prove his properly well worth at the F1 grid, Vettel have to discover a wonderful opportunity here, especially after the brand new troubles that have arisen with Ali. Mattia Bonatto, the CEO of the group, has spoken about the troubles that they're probably to stand in their first season as engine manufacturers, and although it have become believed that they have been up to date with the whole thing in phrases of developing their engine, it does no longer genuinely appearance that way from their present-day assertion at the identical time as talking approximately it. He stated, "I anticipate it's a getting-to-know manner. We're competing with exceptional businesses, where manufacturers are settled down. Clearly all the enjoy is quite critical and legitimate. So even as I anticipate the commercial organization, company at Audi is first-rate. The facilities are fantastic. The packages are going earlier, there may be, although a getting-to-know curve which needs to be performed. So I am searching beforehand to begin with, to have an opening to recover how massive will or now not, it's I count on you could by no means recognize that, however there had been a thrilling improvement of sports inside the final couple of months that Vettel may probably well capitalize on, along with the appointing of Wheatley, because the two major of Audi Weekly and Vettel collaborated in Red Bull from 2009 to 2014, and it's far a length in which they've got created a completely sturdy bond, which Weekly can use as an argument to lobby to the greater occasions in Audi, in terms of reigniting the interest within the four-time international champion. All another time there are masses of diverse conditions that might have an impact at the function of Sebastian with Audi. However, if you are to study it from a unbiased and unique difficulty of view, the venture with Audi does make a number of experience. There are a few different possibilities that might open up for the four-time international champion, which encompass a shocking flow into any of the opportunity large groups, or possibly a role in a smaller purchaser group. But if you are Sebastian, you will purpose to go lower, return to a set that could combat. For race wins and podium finishes, this turned into the primary motive why he felt he wasn't liked enough in Aston Martin, and one of the key factors that added the retirement process a bit in advance than anticipated. Therefore, if Vettel is to make a comeback, it'd simply advise that the group that managed to land his services is going to be a aggressive faster, rather than later. It is precisely what we need in this sport. With all this in mind, do you believe you studied? The Vettel will make a pass again to the sport quicker, in place of later and further. Importantly, which team do you determine has the highest threat of securing the overall time international champion for in prolonged time? Body allow us to recognize inside the comments below. And if you're interested in the essential crisis that is presently ravaging Red Bull, make sure to test out the video. It's far appearing in your show right now.